It's easy to get disillusioned with ordinary life, but what if there's more to it than meets the eye?
Everyday ordinary life is where extraordinary faith is built. It's where we actually get to walk with Jesus.
This podcast is all about looking at all of life, the highs, the lows, and plateaus through the lens of a journey with Jesus.
Whoever you are, wherever you're at, God sees you and wants to walk with you.
Only when you choose to do life with Him does the ordinary become wonderful. Hey, hey, hey.
Hello.
Welcome back to season 2
Season 2
of
Wonderfully Ordinary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you didn't even realize that we had ended the first season and we're now on season 2. If not, that's okay. Welcome.
Yes.
This episode might be a little bit different than the other episodes, just more of like kind of updates and fun little snippets from the last month while we were away and on break. And as well as honestly just lots of wisdom and things that we've learned from the Lord, which is always really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to share. Just a quick, setting the scene. We are in not our house. We're in a coworker and friend apartment. So these two lovely women who we work with, Kelly and Buki, shout out to them. We've been house and dog sitting. So if you hear a little pause, it's because Samy over here.
Wait, Sunny, come here.
Samy.
Hi,
Hey,
Sunny.
baby.
Oh,
But he's sniffing the mic.
there you go.
Sunny.
So if we see Sunny around,
Sunny, come sit.
This is his podcast now. Yes.
Oh,
Sunny.
yeah.
Anyways.
Sunny, sit. Oh, he's a little hyper right now. But
Alrighty.
anyways, we might need to cut some things because if Sunny gets a little bit too excited. But he's been such a good boy, and we've been here for the last 10 days
10
in their
days.
apartment while they've been on vacation. And just caring for Sunny, but also getting to be roomies. So we'll talk about that for a little bit. But
Yeah. Anyways, before we dive into all the juicy things we've learned, I guess we'll kind of like backtrack where we left off a month ago. So what's happened in the last month? Very high level.
Yeah, very high level. It's summer. I went on vacation with my family, just a short little 4 days to the beach and like Disney and stuff.
That's fun.
So that was really sweet. And other than that, I've just been hanging out with friends a lot, which has been so fun. What
That's
about
awesome.
you?
Well, I have been out of the country for the last, I've been home now for almost 2 weeks, but before that I was in Europe for 3 weeks,
Oh, yeah.
which is a lot of fun. I got to go to, okay, let me see if I can list it off. London, Paris, Moscow, and St. Petersburg. So that was fun. Definitely 3 weeks is a long time to travel, and I've learned a lot in those 3 weeks, and I probably will never travel for 3 weeks ever again. But
yeah, she was texting me. She was like, I'm ready to go home.
it's hard. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I love to travel, but I think I've learned I'm more of like quick, short trip kind of travel girl. Like, I just get too homesick too fast and just miss my routine and my ordinary life.
Yeah.
So it's definitely fun, and I'm very blessed that I got to experience that. But also, like, I'm glad to be home.
Yeah. I think too, sometimes it shows like the value of routine and like having a consistency in your life.
Yeah.
But I don't know, there's people out there who are just built different and they travel just because that becomes their routine. Like,
That's true.
you know what I mean?
If you have that kind of routine where you're always on the go, always meeting new people
Yeah.
all over the world, I can see that.
I feel like I can be both. It just depends my mood. Speaking of being out of routine, obviously us being here for 10 days has kind of been out of our normal routine, but it's been super fun. We're going to talk about things we've even learned in the last few days being here later, but first we want to do a little high-low buffalo. Hope you didn't forget.
We're definitely not removing that from our routine.
Yeah,
so.
cannot forget. So, Stasha, we're doing it like together since we've been together the last few days. So, what's our high?
Our high is that honestly, this time that we've been just like sitting and house sitting and dog sitting, is that we've had so many good chats that we probably just wouldn't have been able to have as easily. Not that we wouldn't have had them, but probably just not as easily and as like often if we weren't so-called living together for the last,
Yeah.
like, almost 2 weeks.
Roomies.
Roomies. So, late night chats about life and different things that the Lord has been doing. And honestly, it's just been so sweet to
Mhm.
get like Sammy's perspective. And then I was able to give her my perspective, then just
Yeah.
other friends' perspectives on things. So the Lord has been using it to speak to both of us in different ways, which has been really cool.
Let's see. So that was high. Low, honestly, the weather's just been a little bit bad the last few days
Yeah.
with rain and cloudiness and all of that. And so it's been a little sad not to go on as many walks as I would have wanted to in the area and stuff. But that's okay. And then our buffalo, I feel like there's, I don't know, random buffaloes that have happened. A lot of them have to do with just taking care of Sunny. He's
He's such
like
a funny dog.
such a funny
Oh,
boy. He loves, yeah, he does not know what we're doing right now, probably
he's
with
so
this
confused.
situation, but he loves to like run through your legs and then like he'll run through your legs, but not go all the way through so that you could scratch his butt.
And then he hops.
And then he hops. I've never seen a dog literally hop, but he'll hop while you're scratching him. And it's so
It's
adorable.
so cute.
That's like one buffalo. I don't know what another one could be. He's just like such a funny dog. I think for me personally, I've never actually had a dog. And so seeing him like right now he's trying to play with a toy. Like I just is so it's so crazy to me to think about how dogs have a mind of their own and like he just wants to go use a specific toy at a certain time and he'll just think to go over to his bin and grab it.
Yeah.
I don't know why in my head I'm like, "Oh my gosh, the free will of dog," like, and the
Love it.
likes and dislikes of animals, like, they're more similar to us than we think sometimes, and it's
Yeah,
just
they
been so
are.
mind-blowing,
Clearly,
but
Sammy has never had a pet,
yeah,
and that's
literally, I've
okay.
never had a pet. I had a dog for 1 week once when I was a kid, and then my mom was like, "Sorry, girl, I'm not an animal person, can't do it," and so we gave it to my aunt.
It's so funny.
But that's a story for another day. That's the short version.
Love it.
Anyways.
Anyways, those were our high-low buffaloes. Super much fun. I don't English.
So
I've been
much
gone for
fun.
too long. But Sammy, let's start with you. I want to hear more about where the Lord is taking you in this next season of life because you have some fun, exciting new adventures you're going on, and adventures not travel, but kind of academically. So why don't you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that?
There's my little hint to you guys. Basically, I'm going to be starting my a grad program online in the next month and a half probably
Wow,
or
so
2
soon.
months. Yeah. Basically, at the end of August, I'll start my Masters of Theology with Dallas Theological Seminary online, and I'm really excited. I think just cuz I've wanted to get my masters for a while, like I knew I wanted to, but obviously I took a break after graduating, worked, and just prayed about what program would be best for me, what school the Lord would want me to kind of like invest time in
Mm-hmm.
and money in, obviously. And so, in the last few months since the start of the year, honestly, in 2025, I started praying more about it and basically decided that this program would be good for me because I really feel called to be equipped with like biblical knowledge to help others understand who God is, who He made them to be, and what the Bible says. And I've just been so passionate about the Bible since I was a little girl. And I think I was rediscovering that in the last few months. And part of me sometimes, I don't know how loud his little stomps are
It's
going to
okay.
be. Oh, he's so funny. Yeah, I think in my head, I was like, trying to run away from that because there's other things I love to do too. So, I love working with people and
Mm-hmm.
I love intercultural studies and mission work and all these things. And I think the Lord has just been humbling me to remember I don't need to do it all. I don't need to know it all. But like, if He already has narrowed down and reminded me of like the calling I think I've had on my life since I was a younger girl, I can keep taking steps of faith towards that. So, anyways, Masters of Theology program, I'll be able to go into a lot of biblical studies, but also study Greek and Hebrew, and then have enough electives to study a lot of mission and intercultural studies stuff. So I'm excited because I think it'll just be a good mix of everything that I'm passionate about
Wow.
and that I want to be equipped for so that I can keep on writing and teaching and even doing stuff like this, a podcast like that. Maybe
So what you're
I'll just have
saying
more
is
knowledge to help impart.
now you're gonna teach us how to speak
Oh
Greek and
yeah, I'm gonna
Hebrew.
teach Greek and Hebrew to you guys. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Because
For
that's
free.
for free. Actually, sign up for our Patreon for that content.
Yes, please.
JK,
Give us
JK.
money. Just kidding. Sorry, that was a little bit of a long answer, but I thought it would be cool to just share how it's like a step towards what I think God has like called me to invest in because of like gifts he's given me and I want to use them for him.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's an encouragement to any of you considering not just further education but just maybe an opportunity. Really pray about it and ask the Lord to show you like what he's calling you to have faith in and see what happens next. So we'll see. You guys will go on the journey with me because we're gonna keep on recording. But Stesha, do you want to share a little bit of the change with that?
Yes. So just in light of new seasons of life and Sammy's new schedule and even just like honestly, like this podcast has been kind of an experiment. Obviously,
Really,
we've
really
never
has.
done this before, and just trying to see what would be the best where it can be the most consistent and the highest quality. Because I never
Yeah,
want it to be something that feels rushed or like we just slapped it together because I don't
exactly.
think that glorifies God.
Yeah.
And so, in light of that, we will be switching our schedule of releasing episodes to twice a month, which is, I think, practically every other week
Yeah.
essentially. So, however that falls, I know sometimes some months are
Months are
longer.
longer, yeah.
But every other week, you can still expect an episode on Thursdays, just like before,
Yeah.
but not weekly. Even though maybe one day we will go back to weekly when it feels like, yeah, we should do this weekly again.
Manageable, but yeah, we're just gonna keep experimenting
Yes,
and
but still,
seeing how God does it,
expect us on every other week on the pod, and then just follow us on social media for more like resources and content. I think with this new filming and release schedule, there'll be a lot more room to create content just like on social media with like
Yeah.
different
Like more written content.
exactly. Sammy has so many
resources.
cool things that she writes, and it'd be really cool to share with you guys. So look out for that.
Yeah.
All the socials are linked down in the show notes and stuff and description boxes. So look out for that.
Yeah. But we just want to finish, spend the rest of our time. This episode will be like a little bit more casual, but just talking about kind of things that we've learned, both maybe silly things and deeper things from the last 2 months, and also just the last 10 days of living together out of our normal routine. So I don't know if you have anything off the top of your mind you want to.
Let me tell you, I've never lived with anyone besides my family. And so
and I've lived with a lot of different
Sammy's
roommates.
lived, I literally was like telling Sammy, I'm like, Sammy, you're gonna have to tell me how do I be a roommate? I've never done that before.
No, but you've been fine. Also, we
I've
have
been
separate
fine.
rooms. No, you've been chill, like nothing crazy.
Thank you. Nothing crazy.
We have separate rooms, so I think it's different. In my experiences, I've always shared a room with someone.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be hard.
You have your own room and your own bathroom, so do I. So that's been kind of nice.
Yeah, that is nice.
It's my first time, I think, living in a space like this where I get my own space too. I've lived with roommates from like college to internships to studying abroad, and you're always sharing bathroom and kitchen space too, in addition to like your room space.
Even where you sleep, so like bunk beds or separate beds. Yeah. Yeah, that can be definitely harder when you're forced to be in smaller, confined places. Constant like
quarters.
Yeah, like being around people, which I personally am not an extrovert. I'm more of an introvert. So my social battery runs out pretty quickly and I need to recharge. And how I recharge is by being by myself.
Yeah.
I don't know, Sammy, do you recharge with being with people or by yourself or both?
For me, it's both. I definitely am really energized when I'm around people. And I think that we were just talking about this because I booked our schedule pretty quick.
Oh, Sammy had me doing stuff every day. She's like, we're going to hang out with these people. Then we're going to hang out with this person. Then we're going to go do this. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna embrace it because this doesn't happen very often.
Well, I was scared it was gonna happen because that's just how I am, and then I was like, "Wait, I need to be considerate of Stasha because she's different than me." And then I was like, "Okay, Stasha, like, what do we need to maybe back out of or change?" But then we were able to, like, keep the commitments
Yes.
because they were when we thought about it, honestly, thank God we were working remote the entire week. I think that gave me a lot of chill time, maybe you a
Yeah.
lot of chill time because we didn't have to be in the office every day
With
with
people
people and
24/7.
all of that. So
Yeah.
anyways, I booked our schedule for like evenings pretty quick, but then um we were talking about it and I realized like I think on a week to week basis I do tend to like come up with plans either beforehand or spontaneously
Mhm.
for some of my evenings, but when I'm working in our office, like a normal work week, I think I have less capacity because it is more tiring for me to be in an office all day with people.
Right.
Even though I love our team and I love working with people, it does tire me. So then I do want to just go home and be
For
alone.
sure. Yeah.
But this week it was different. It felt like work, but also vacation at the same time.
100%. So,
So
yeah,
yeah.
it has been really cool just to, um almost like learn how other people operate when
Yeah.
it comes to social stuff like that. Also, just the people that we did get to hang out and meet with, some of them I don't necessarily get to see as often or
Mhm.
in these environments.
Yeah.
So that has been very, I think, beautiful and honestly needed. And I've been wanting to do that for a while. So,
Mhm.
and even like the conversations we had with those people, I think every single moment of the last 10 days has 100% been ordained by God.
Yeah, for
And even just
sure.
like stuff that like I'm going through in my personal life, stuff that Sammy's going through in her
Yeah.
personal life, there has been random conversations that weren't even prompted by us in any
Mhm.
way to try to get a specific answer, but naturally the conversations have led to giving us almost like insight or answers into what we've been personally thinking and asking
Yes.
God of, and God's been answering them through others.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool when you are like taken out of your normal daily routine, which I love daily routines. I'm a very routine driven
Yeah.
person. I love the ordinary, but sometimes you get too used to your ordinary and you stop like seeing what God is doing because everything you're just like, oh, this happens the same way every single day.
Mhm.
So you don't realize that God is moving and working. So
Yeah.
when your world gets shaken up a little bit, and like this is not a bad shake, this is a great shake,
Yeah.
you know, a very fun, just new, like we're not even that far from home. We're like maybe like less than 20 miles away. So it's
Mhm.
like we're not far. We're not out of the country. We're literally just, whatever, in our own backyard. But now we have different perspectives on things.
Mhm.
And it's been really cool. And I think very useful for me, especially in this next season of life that I feel like God is taking me in.
Yeah. I think that's something I love about traveling in general. This is different than traveling a little bit, but similar ideas. And what I think is cool about it too is like when we named this podcast Wonderfully Ordinary, we're thinking about our everyday normal life.
Hmm.
But even when you're taken out of your everyday normal, let's say you're traveling to Europe for 3 weeks, or, we're here dog sitting for a week and a half, you're still going into another ordinary thing in a sense. It's just not what you're used to. So
Yeah.
we've been here just living our regular life, but it's been different than usual because we're working remote and we're with a dog in a new apartment that is so cute and homey and cozy and in a new neighborhood, right? And when I travel, even if it's something super fun and like crazy, like day trips to New York, which
Yeah.
we've done before,
Oh, and I'm going on
and
another
she's
one.
going again. Like even those that are more short term and they feel more glamorous, right? Because you're not going to live there. You're going to
Yeah. To go
just
like
visit.
sightseeing. Yeah.
Yeah. Like all of those things, I think in them, there's still like mundane, like air quote parts of it because on your way to New York, you're taking a plane, right? And that can seem kind of boring to some people, but no, you're in the air. And when
It's
you
pretty
get there,
cool.
you still have to eat, but like you're
Yeah.
eating different food, you know? It's like
Yeah.
there's still simple parts of every experience you have. But I think when you're taken out of what you're used to into something different, God can use even those simple things in new environments and places to just refresh your heart and soul, to breathe new life into you, to give you new energy and perspective. And even for me, the last few days being here, I've just been reminded of how, like, the Lord is my peace and
Mm.
he is worthy of just my complete attention and devotion. And I think it's been sweet because I've been very intentional with how I am communicating with God throughout my entire day while
Mhm.
I'm here. And I don't know why it feels different. And I think it's just because we're in a different space, obviously. But even just having the responsibility of a dog, which my family doesn't have a dog at home, it's been so fun to like I am be able to look at this animal and just have oh, he's right here by my feet. Have this affection. Stesha has seen this too. I just have grown so in love with this dog.
You know what's crazy? I don't think it's to me, what is beautiful is not how much love you have for the dog, but how much you relate your love for the dog to how much love God has for us.
Well, that's because I was telling you earlier, I was just blowing my mind. I was like, why do I love this dog so much? Because he's so precious and cute and everything, and he's very obedient. So I love that. But why do I love it so much if he can't do anything for me? Like, he just brings a little bit of, he brings joy. So that's a
Yeah.
great thing. But it's not like he cares for me. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
but I just like love this dog. And also, I just really got to know him recently. So it's kind of funny, but it reminded me of God's love for us. So I was telling Stesha, I was like, girl, doesn't it blow your mind that we can do nothing for God? Like, we can worship him, obviously, and enjoy him. And that's what we should do because he loved us first.
Mhm.
But isn't it crazy to think that we really aren't contributing anything to God? Like, he doesn't need us, but he wants us and he loves us so much. And even
Mhm.
though we like are like we're just like a dog to him. Like, I don't know, like he
I mean, like, sometimes
loves
we mess up.
us.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
we rip a pillow
He
apart and bite
has
a hole
this
in the couch.
yeah, he has this huge affection for us and care for us, and I was just, like, thinking about that so much the last few days because I just have fallen in love with this dog, Sunny, and he's so cute. But I was like, "Wow, God loves us more than that, like, times a billion." I can't even
Yeah.
comprehend how much he loves us, and I journaled about the other day, the last thing I also thought of, I find it, like, so satisfying and like it makes me happy when he listens. So when I say sit or when I say wait and he actually listens, he's a really good dog. He was trained so well. But if I get like pleased when he can like listen and obey me, imagine how much more it pleases God when we trust him enough to like listen and obey him.
Mhm.
And so anyways, I've just been like mind blown from the last few days about that. And so I'm really thankful because I think God wanted me to remember that about him.
Yeah. And even like me watching you realize that has made me realize that. And it's just like a full circle moment.
Mhm.
Another thing that I've like also learned, I think definitely in the last 10 days, but also like throughout my trip to Europe. So like the last month as a whole,
Mhm.
I went into this month very expectant and open-handed and willing to listen to the Lord because there's just a couple areas of my life that I'm really praying through that
Mhm.
I want breakthrough or answers or provision or whatever
Mhm.
through. And so I've been kind of like, okay, God, like I'm gonna listen and whatever. And sometimes it's hard because you get distracted by things or you want your own outcome or timeline to happen. And so you're
Yeah.
not letting God move. But when you like stop and slow down and just kind of let the Lord work, it's been really, really cool just to see how God worked. And it's not necessarily like huge, like boom, bam, like here you go, like here's this like thing you've been praying exactly how you want it, but in the way that God has been answering has been beautiful. And it's just more reminders like to have like peace and just wait on the Lord because it's
Mhm.
so worth it. And when he does start to like slowly answer those prayers in whatever shape or form it is, it's like I think I kind of got convicted a little bit because I realized I was lacking faith in some areas because I started
Mhm.
to believe like, well, God's never going to answer that prayer. Like that's
Mm.
not going to happen to me. That's not going to
Yeah.
be a blessing that I'll get to experience. So when small things start moving in that direction, you're like, "Oh, wait, I should, like, thank the Lord because he's moving, and I'm definitely, like, convicted of having lack of faith and being like, "No, you need to trust God with everything."
Yeah.
And it's just, like, more reminders, and I always have to think, I'm like, "Well, if you trusted God in the past, and he does show up, and he will show up, even
Mhm.
if it's different than what I think it will be,
Yes,
but he
that's
does
key.
show up, so why am I not trusting him now?" So it's just been, like, many great reminders of that,
Yeah.
to just keep holding on, keep praying, keep waiting, keep worshiping, keep praising because
Yeah.
he's here, and he's working, he's moving.
Yeah. I love how you brought that up. And we've been talking like as we've lived together the last few days,
Yeah,
so I'm not surprised that that perfectly leads into what I wanted to say. But basically what I have like the second big thing I think I wanted to share that I've really been learning or relearning, I think God's just been drilling it into me, is
for
just
sure.
this idea of trusting that He is good, that He is actually who He says He is,
Mm,
and that He is kind and patient and faithful and all those wonderful things. And I think um, there are times where I can creep into the mentality of thinking, well, I need to prove myself to God and act a certain way so that he's good, so that he stays faithful, but he is unchanging and
mhm,
even when I'm faithless, he is faithful. It says that in like Timothy, one of the Timothy books. But and then in Hebrews it says like Jesus is the same yesterday, today and forever, and we just take that for granted sometimes and don't actually believe it. And so I've just been working through my thought world, I guess, and really thinking in the last month or so, okay, what are some thoughts that I believe that I don't even recognize anymore because they've just been there for so long
mm,
that I need to go in and like find them and discover the underlying lie attached to them. Sometimes I think I can mask lies that I believe that make me insecure under the false like cover of oh I'm just being humble, oh I'm just like
mhm,
I know that I don't deserve um like I'm a sinner and I'm imperfect and so I don't deserve this or that, so I'm just going to keep like thinking this way about
right.
myself that I don't deserve this or that and that I can keep walking in fear and insecurity because that means that I'm just like having a healthy view of myself when in reality, that like what's actually behind those fears and insecurities that I have is a lack of trusting God and what He says is true, that what He says about me is true, that what He says about Himself is true. And the enemy like has used those covers of well you're just being humble or you're just trying
Mm,
to not be prideful. He has used that as a way to distract me from seeing the actual struggle and like sinful struggle of not believing God is who he says he is. And so anyways, I hope that kind of makes sense, but I've just been going through this journey of okay, I need to write down some of these lies I believe about myself, about my life, insecurities or fears that I have that hold me back from taking steps of healthy faith. And not only do I need to write out all of those things, but then I have to identify, okay, what is the root of that? And honestly for me it's been I'm not trusting God fully with certain areas because I'm not believing that he will actually be good and faithful
right.
in the areas that I'm like worried to give him.
Yeah.
And he's totally been just showing me that in my heart, and it's wrecked me, but in a beautiful way. I don't feel destroyed by it. I feel like, okay, I'm the piece of clay, and he's just like hammering in, trying to make sure that he could form me. Like, I took pottery class a few months ago, and you really have to add a lot of water and pressure to reform or to shape how
Mm,
you want that pot to look. And I just keep thinking of that now whenever I feel like I'm going through a a change that's hard. I just keep thinking about how important it is for a potter to kind of like re-wet you and then really apply pressure to
right.
shape you how he wants you to look. And so I just feel like the Lord's doing that to me with my thought life, with my confidence. That's healthy confidence in
Yeah.
him and not a prideful thing, and it's been beautiful, I think, to experience and to walk through it with people. So thank you for walking through it with me because
Thank
you've
you,
been there.
Sammy.
You've been there.
We've been definitely like relying on each other a lot, and God has like things that He's I feel like finally drilled into your brain.
Yeah.
He used you to drill into my brain, and vice versa. And it's just been
Yeah, praise
really cool.
God.
And it's kind of crazy how the things that we've been walking through, they're similar but also different.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're in this place at this time, in this season, in this exact like time of life, and like it couldn't have been more perfect,
Mhm.
like, at all. It's
Yeah.
so crazy because I almost went into this week thinking like, "Oh, I just got home from, like, a 3-week trip. Why did I, like, say I would do this? Like, this is hard." But actually, it's been very refreshing in lots of different ways. So
Yeah.
it's God knows. God always knows. He
He
knows what He's
does.
doing. Don't ever take any, like, change ups or things that get shaken up in your life as, like, a bad thing because it can very much be something that can push you into the right direction in your life.
Mhm.
So I think it's been really cool.
Yeah, honestly, God is good, and I just can't wait to see what the journey He takes us on in the next, like, the rest of the year. And then with the podcast too, getting to take you guys along with us with more guests that we're gonna bring, hopefully,
100%.
more topics we're gonna dive into, and just always keeping our theme kind of in mind of like everyday ordinary life is truly where extraordinary faith is built,
Yeah.
because when you're doing life with Jesus every day, a dog sitting gig could like
Who
remind
knew?
you of who he is.
Who knew? I feel like my faith has grown significantly. Not that I didn't have it before,
No, no, no.
but
It's
there's
just
always
like
room to
there's
grow.
always a way to like grow deeper
100%.
in your intimacy with God, and it's so cool.
All,
So
all because we had to watch this little guy who's literally loving life
Sunny,
right now.
he's laying on his back on the floor.
So cute.
He's so precious. Oh my gosh.
You guys are witnessing Sammy fawn
I
over a dog
I'm
right now.
obsessed with him. Like, oh my gosh.
Anyways, before we get
Stasha,
to this episode,
Stasha witnessed my cuteness aggression the other night.
okay, before we turn this
That's a buffalo.
podcast into Sammy and Sunny, not Sammy
A
and
dog
Stasha.
loving Sammy, Sunny, and Stasha.
That'd be cute. Sunny's like, no.
No, I literally was
He's rolling his
like
eyes back.
aggressively hugging him the other night. I
So
was
cute.
like, I have a love bubble for you. Have you heard of that?
No.
I started saying that in college because one of my good friends, I think Taylor, but we were all on staff together in Res Life. Anyways, we started saying we have
Heart Sparkle?
we started saying heart sparkle
That's a different
there.
episode.
Yeah, go back to our crushing podcast episode to learn what heart sparkle is. But we started saying heart sparkle about our friends first. It was just like heart sparkles, you know what I mean?
Cute.
Because like we love each other. But then we started to say we have a huge love bubble for you, and I have a love bubble for Sunny. I have a love bubble for you too.
Aw, thank you.
Yeah, girl, don't worry about it. My love bubble for Sunny is just animal bubble.
That's cute. That's cute. It's cute.
Is there anything else you want to share about the season?
I feel like we've covered it.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's been great, and I'm sure we'll, as like newer future topics come up, I'm sure other things that were just not like coming straight to mind right now will come up. But overall, it's been so great, and we're really excited to come back full force into this next season of Wonderfully Ordinary.
Yes.
Even though it's gonna be slightly different, but still the same.
Yeah.
Now that we've kind of refreshed, and honestly, it's been so cool to even have been able to do a whole first season.
Yes, honestly. And I think again it's just a testament to like the Lord and his faithfulness when you just trust him and you do things with him, because our prayer is like, Lord, we're doing this with you and we're doing this for you, and if it ever is time to like put it to rest, then we'll do that gladly because it's not about us. But really quick, the psalm that has been on my heart the last few days, I wanted to read some of it, and then we can like say bye. But let's see. I'm just going to read the last few verses of Psalm 27. It's Psalm 27, 13 and 14. It's really just a beautiful promise and that we can cling to. It says, I remain confident of this. I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. So That's something that I'm clinging to. That
Oh, yeah, I've
I'll
been
see
clinging
his
to that one.
goodness, you know?
Yep.
Just gotta wait and be strong and let your heart be courageous, so
Amen to that. Well,
well
we will see you guys in the next episode in 2 weeks.
yeah.
Yeah, every other week. So
Have
until then, have a
wonderfully
wonderfully ordinary
ordinary
day or week or 2 weeks.
Love you
We love you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.